This video is a redo of a video that I just did, a live video that is now gone from my channel. I don't know exactly what happened, but the video was not processing and fully publishing to my homepage. So, and I tried everything to get it to correct. I've had that happen before and I was able to fix it, and this time I could not do it. So, unfortunately for me, and this was like a 25-minute live streaming discussion on position playing, I'm going to make this video shorter. I want to mention that I've got a class coming October 11th. It is on position playing. The subject is going to be specifically centering around identifying and selecting positions with regards to first, second, and third position in the context of blues and a little bit outside of blues. It doesn't have to be just in the context of blues. So if you're new to harmonica playing, you're wondering what position playing is, my friend Brian Walker had a great one-line sort of definition that related back to the circle of fifths. But basically, that's where this position playing comes from. And if you want to learn more about the circle of fifths, just Google the circle of fifths and learn about it. And you'll understand how we're getting to select a position to figure out what harmonica to grab. So let me back up and just say that when I learned about playing harmonic, it was all about first position, meaning learning a song in the key of the harmonica, like Oh Susanna, and that was my first song that I ever learned. And then quickly jumping to second position, where it was more blues friendly for the majority of people, learning that blues scale in second position. And I still didn't really have a grasp for everything about position playing, but as the years went by, it became apparent that it was important to have a system or some sort of understanding about positions as they relate to the grooves, the chord progression, and the key of the song as well, to determine what position that I wanted to lay down over a particular song. So I quickly began playing first, second, and third. I caught up quickly and started using that in the context of blues. And in layman's terms, that just means you're trying to figure out what key you want to play the harmonica that you have. So if you have a G harmonica, do you want to play it in G or A minor? Do you want to play it in the key of D major? This would help you determine the position. And it became apparent quickly that it was important to have some sort of understanding of not only being able to identify these positions when I heard them, so I could break down the riffs and the ideas that I heard on the appropriate key harmonica and understand what key I'm playing in relative to the key that I'm holding. But it also became like understanding, again, how to apply that. Like, if I hear a song, how do I determine what position to use? And the answer is that there's no hard, fast rule. There's a lot of creative decision-making going on. So if you want to learn more about the way that I identify and select positions when I'm going to improvise, and that's of interest to you, check out the class October 11th, position playing. We're going to do just that. I'm going to give you a lot of insight as to how I narrow it down. It's a little more extensive than just, it sounds like this fits well for first, so I use it. There is a systematic sort of approach that I take to a degree. And I think it will help you a lot. So what I want to communicate today is that if you're not thinking about position playing, start thinking about it, because it'll open up your ability to express more and be more creative, especially when it comes to the phrasing that we hear. So I'll leave you with some examples of position playing over one song where we take the key of A and we use, for example, an A harmonica, a D harmonica, and a G harmonica, and that's first position, second position, and third position in that order. And sometimes they're like this track right here that I'll demo. It can work very well in any of the positions, but it's a matter of figuring out what you find to be the best position to connect with that particular song. So check out these positions, and maybe that'll stir some excitement in you and sort of raise questions that you want to ask during this class. All these classes are recorded, and I host them through Zoom, so if you can't attend live, you get the recording. Okay, here we go. This is a Chicago shuffle in the key of A. Key of A harmonic. D harmonic. G harmonic. So each one of these harmonicas is being played in the key of A. Maybe that's enough for some of you to be thinking about right now, is that I'm using different key harmonicas, but I'm playing them all in the same key. And that can be done by adjusting the starting note, where your scale lays out for that particular, in this case, the key of A. Where is the A? Just start thinking basic at first. Where does the A lay out on an A harmonica? 1, 4, 7, and 10. Where does an A lay out on a D harmonica? 2, draw, 3 blow, 6 blow, 9 blow. And that centers you for where the scale will begin, the root note. And in third position, that A is located 1, 4, and 8 draw. Again, cueing you into this fact that that's where those scales will be centered around. So it takes a little getting used to it and hearing it enough times to where it sinks in, but I think that the idea of keeping the class simple enough to spend a lot of time ear training with me live, where I have songs queued up and ready to go with various positions being demonstrated in pre-recorded songs, and listening to them together and discussing why or how you determine why you think it's one position versus the other, and strategies for how you can begin to quickly determine that, so that you're not wasting time going, I'm frustrated, I can't figure out what harmonica key they're using in this song. Second step is figuring out then from that point, what do I want to do over particular songs? And I think that's where the biggest disconnect lies for most players, and I think that's where I can help you the most, because I've got all this experience playing and teaching, and it's helped me to really hone in on those key parts and understand why first position works over certain grooves and in certain keys best. And so I'm going to get into that in detail during class. I think it will be fairly eye-opening and helpful for the majority of players out there. If you have follow-up questions, you can always email me at ronnieshellist@gmail.com. I'm really sorry and bummed that I've lost the live video that was a little more in-depth that I had just posted. But hey, when you're in this situation, all you can do is redo it. So that's what I'm doing here today. So if you're interested, check out the link in the video description and join me October 11th at 11 a.m. Central. Hope to catch you there, and I'll see you in a video really soon. Have a great day.